Launches a legal war against the attorney who filed a bombshell suit against him. That Texas attorney, Tony Buzbee, has just fired back.
Can't hide skeletons in the closet forever.
Tony Buzbee, who also represents 120 accusers against Sean Diddy Combs, filed this letter in response, accusing Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, of, quote, intimidation and
launches a legal war against the attorney who filed a bombshell suit against him. The Texas attorney Tony Buzbee has just fired back. Can't hide skeletons in the closet forever. Tony Buzbee, who also represents 120 accusers against Sean Diddy Combs, filed this letter in response, accusing Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, of, quote, intimidation and harass. Okay, so things just got even messier in the ongoing drama with Jay-Z, Diddy, and attorney Tony Buzbee. The lawyer who's been representing Jane Doe in her lawsuit is now turning his focus to Roc Nation, accusing the company of pulling some seriously shady moves to block him from pursuing justice for the alleged victims. Mr. Carter's company, Roc Nation, and his counsel have bribed my clients to file lawsuits against my firm. Former clients impersonated state officials and engaged in other behavior far, far beyond the pale of acceptable conduct. Why, you heard that right. Buzbee just filed a new lawsuit claiming Roc Nation has been working overtime behind the scenes with dirty tactics to protect Jay-Z and Diddy from any consequences. And trust me, the drama doesn't end there. Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro also dropped a bombshell saying that Jay-Z and Diddy were never actually friends, but fans aren't buying it and are calling Spiro out for trying to rewrite history and gaslight the public. Why? Because there's a ton of proof out there that Jay-Z and Diddy were tight. There's only one person, and I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean. Okay, yeah, nobody else could call me Sean. He's the only person who's single. There's not a single person that outside of family that should be no outside of my mother. Okay, just yep, they were that close. In fact, there are other countless videos of them hyping each other up, and in one clip Diddy even calls Jay his extended family, not just a friend but closer than that. And let's not forget that viral moment where Diddy mentioned how Jay-Z skipped Blue Ivy's recital to perform with him for the Bad Boy 25th anniversary. Man, this right here was important. Bad Boys celebrating 20 years of hits. This is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call seriously. Who does that for someone who's just an acquaintance? But that's not all. Nicki Minaj has stepped into the spotlight and stirred the pot even more. Nicki seems to be siding with Tony Buzbee's lawsuit against Roc Nation and has brought up some serious questions about Jay-Z's past. She didn't hold back, calling out allegations involving Jay-Z's relationships with women like Foxy Brown and Aaliyah, and questioning why he's never been held accountable. According to Nicki, the public deserves answers, especially with the Jane Doe lawsuit casting a shadow over Jay-Z's name, and things aren't cooling down anytime soon. Tony Buzbee is going all in, determined to take down Jay-Z and Roc Nation, and the legal drama is only getting more intense. Let's break it all down because there's a lot to unpack now. For those who missed the memo, the Jane Doe lawsuit accuses Jay-Z and Diddy of mistreating a 13-year-old girl at the Vass's after party back in 2000. Jay-Z has been pushing hard for the case to be dismissed, with his lawyer Alex Spiro claiming the allegations are provably and demonstrably false. But here's where it gets tricky. Jane Doe recently gave an exclusive interview on December 13th where she admitted there were inconsistencies in her story. She initially said her father picked her up after the alleged attack, but now her father says he doesn't remember that happening. Jane also says she talked to musicians Benji and Joel Madden at the VM's after party. She even described chatting with Benji about his Last Supper tattoo. Benji Madden about his tattoo, because you know I have a is about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So, but here's the kicker: a representative for the Madden brothers told NBC News they weren't even in New York during the 2000 VMAs. In fact, they were on a tour in the Midwest at the time. Talk about a curveball. Jane also alleges that after feeling woozy from a drink at the party, she was essayed by Jay-Z and Diddy. She claims she escaped to a gas station and called her father to pick her up. According to Jane, they drove home in silence and her father never asked what happened. But here's where things get murkier. In an interview with NBC News, her father stated he couldn't recall the incident. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. Despite admitting to some inconsistencies, Jane isn't backing down. She told NBC News, I have made some mistakes in remembering what happened 24 years ago, but what is clearest is what happened to me. She insists the mistreatment happened even if some details don't line up. Jay-Z, however, wasted no time firing back. On the same day NBC aired Jane's interview, he released a statement through Fox Digital News, calling her allegations false. He pointed out the contradictions in her story as proof that the incident never happened, and criticized her lawyer Tony Buzbee for pressing forward with the lawsuit despite the shaky details. And it's not just that. Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro also announced plans not to only push for the case against Jay-Z to be dismissed, but also to request legal action against Buzbee and the attorneys who filed the complaint. At this point, it looked like Jay had the upper hand until Buzbee clapped back with a bombshell new lawsuit. This time Buzbee is going after Roc Nation and its lawyers accusing them of pulling some seriously shady moves. According to Buzbee, Roc Nation allegedly hired individuals to track down his current and former clients and pressure them into turning against his firm, and we're not talking small bribes here. Buzbee claims one client was offered up to $110,000 to switch sides. Continues. Tony Buzbee is suing JS Company, alleging that they were trying to pay his former clients to sue him at the same time Jay-Z's lawyer wants a judge to order Tony Buzbee to preserve evidence in the lawsuit because he said the NBC News article that came out on Friday that interviewed the woman shows the case is a sham, and he's worried that Tony Buzbee is going to destroy evidence that could subject him to sanctions and other dis. But wait, it gets worse. Buzbee alleges these individuals even posed as Texas state officials, complete with fake badges, to intimidate people into fabricating false stories against him. And here's the kicker: Buzbee says one of these so-called operatives admitted to everything on tape. One name at the center of these accusations is lawyer Marcy Croft. Buzbee called her out directly, highlighting her social media post where she boasts about being part of Team Rock. According to Buzbee, Croft, Roc Nation, and the legal powerhouse Quinn Emanuel have a long-standing relationship that is now under scrutiny. Buzbee alleges that agents working on Croft's behalf were recorded as offering as much as $10,000 to former clients of his firm to encourage them to file false claims against him. In a fiery statement, Buzbee made it clear that he's not backing down. He declared that Roc Nation and its associates have stooped to a new low in their alleged attempts to intimidate him and his team. Let me be clear, Buzbee said, we will not yield or be intimidated. This time the defendants overstepped, got sloppy, and stupidly got caught in their illegal scheme on tape. Buzbee added that this conduct has been reported to the authorities and he intends to cooperate fully to ensure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. If what Buzbee is claiming is true, Roc Nation could be in some seriously hot water. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, Nicki Minaj has entered the chat. Yep, the one and only Nicki, queen of rap and never one to bite her tongue, has officially weighed in on the ongoing drama, and let me tell you, she did not come to play. In a scorching post on X, formerly Twitter, Nicki backed Tony Buzbee's claims while taking aim at Jay-Z and his Roc Nation empire. Her words nothing short of jaw-dropping. Nicki just didn't dip her toes into the controversy. She cannonballed straight in, dragging up allegations about Jay-Z's alleged history with much younger women and calling for an investigation into his ties to some very murky situations. Nicki's post began with a fiery clapback. Dear short and stout Daffy Taffy alien breath sass, we want to know if you were present during the mistreatment of teenagers and children. That's what we want to know. Aaliyah, Foxy, etc. During the R. Kelly video shoots and stuff, did you know about the mistreatment of Kim Porter and Cassie? Y'all seem to run in the same sort of rat pack. And if you're wondering who the Laffy Taffy alien is, Nicki was referring to none other than Roc Nation's president Desire Perez, who has a well-documented past as a former illegal substances dealer turned informant, has long been a controversial figure. Nicki didn't stop there. She also came for Jay-Z, directly calling him a bald-headed bowling ball and accusing him of saving his bold energy for online beef instead of addressing these serious allegations. But wait, it gets spicier. Nicki's post has fans connecting dots all over the place, especially when it comes to Jay-Z's circle of influence. Adding even more fuel to the fire is Jay-Z's former best friend DeHaven, who drops a major T during an interview on Real Life Productions. DeHaven claimed that Jay-Z's unshakable position in the industry is thanks to his connections to powerful players including Desiree Perez. He hold like I wouldn't have made it to where I had, so I say he had a lot of say, so he had a 50% he get out there. I ain't put too much on the Haven. Didn't mince words, suggesting that Jay-Z's ties to Perez and other high-level insiders have made him nearly untouchable. Even as other industry titans like Diddy face their downfall, he is them people. DeHaven said they're still going to cover it up anyway. So what does all this mean for fan